Rand Paul, legendary filibuster yesterday, approximately 13 hours. So did it work? Of course not. Now, in the 13th hour, he said, well, I'm a little tired, and it turns out there's something you got to do in the middle of a day, and I got to go do that now. Okay, that's keeping it real. So now he went a long time, and this was one of the longest filibusters, talking filibusters in history, actually. And good for him. I totally agree with him on the philosophy. He was trying to block John Brennan's nomination to be the head of the CIA, but he was really blocking it because he wanted to get better answers from the administration on their drone program and could they kill U.S. citizens on U.S. soil without a trial. And Eric Holder and John Brennan and the president himself had all been incredibly evasive about that, and in fact had indicated in a letter to Rand Paul that they could. In fact, here, let me quote you that letter. Eric Holder had just said, and this is what started the filibuster, "It is possible, I suppose, to imagine an extraordinary circumstance in which it would be necessary and appropriate under the constitutional and applicable laws of the United States for the president to authorize the military to use lethal force within the territory of the United States." In other words, yes, we can execute U.S. citizens without a trial. He said, for example, the president could conceivably have no choice but to authorize the military to use such force if necessary to protect the homeland in the circumstances like a catastrophic attack like the one suffered on December 7th of 1941 and September 11th of 2001. In other words, well, you know, if I've decided that it's a really extreme circumstance, then the president can kill folks without a trial. Now, look, if there's an imminent attack, Rand Paul and everyone else agrees, that's a different situation. That's a situation we've had throughout the history of the United States. If a cop sees somebody pulling a gun, he can shoot the guy. Everybody knows that, right? We're talking about a situation where there is not an imminent attack. And on that, Eric Holder was purposely vague and seemed to indicate that they have that authority, hence the filibuster. Now, Rand Paul knew that he was going to lose on this issue in the end, and he did. When he ended the filibuster, of course, today they took the vote, and it was 63 to 34, and they lost. John Brennan is now the head of the CIA. Rand Paul did vote against them, and so did 31 Republicans. So who are the three non-Republicans to vote against Brennan? Well, all right. In some ways, these are heroic votes. Senator Pat Leahy from Vermont, Senator Jeff Merkley from Oregon, who had expressed support for Rand Paul's actions yesterday, even though he didn't join him on the floor, and then Senator Bernie Sanders, who was, of course, an independent of Vermont. I was a little annoyed that Senator Sanders did not show up yesterday to support Rand Paul in his filibuster. In fact, of course, the most recent longest filibuster was by Senator Bernie Sanders. So I would have thought that he would have supported him, but at least he did support him in the vote. That, of course, is very important, even though they lost. But it's not really a loss, because right after the filibuster, what does the White House do? And look, anytime there's pressure from a Republican on the White House, you're probably going to get a good answer from them. I mean, if it was a Democrat, when Bernie Sanders did his incredibly long filibuster, talk about income inequality and not to approve the extension of the Bush tax cuts, almost the entire media ignored him. Everybody ignored him. And of course, the White House ignored him. Like a Democratic senator with a filibuster, that's funny. Or he's actually an independent, but caucuses with the Democrats. Now, when it's a Republican doing it, wait, killing U.S. citizens on U.S. soil? Well, we didn't quite mean that. So here comes Jay Carney to explain that Eric Holder has, in essence, really changed his position.
From the letter, quote, "Does the president have the authority to use a weaponized drone to kill an American not engaged in combat on American soil?" The answer is no. The answer to that question is no.
All right, all of a sudden, they're very clear. The answer is no. Okay, dude, I know. Look, you got a lot of support. I saw the Republicans rallying to your side. Some of them, not all of them. And I saw a couple of Democrats. Okay, all right, man. No, sure, of course not. We won't kill you on U.S. soil. We'll wait till you get off U.S. soil. Okay, but here comes more Carney.
The president has not and would not use drone strikes against American citizens on American soil. On the broader question that legal authorities that exist to use lethal force are bound by and constrained by the law and the Constitution, the issue here isn't the technology. The method does not change the law. The president swore an oath to uphold the Constitution, and he is bound by the law. Whether the lethal force in question is a drone strike or a gunshot, the law and the Constitution apply in the same way.
That is such a weapon of mass distraction right there. So, oh, yeah, oh my God. What difference does it make if it's a drone or a gun, you silly civil libertarians? Get out of here. But in reality, of course it doesn't matter. The point isn't that it's a drone. The point is, what are you doing with that drone? And so these guys pretending like, oh, the president always follows the Constitution. And so of course we wouldn't have an issue. But, well, how about the 3 U.S. citizens you executed without a trial that were not inside the United States? That's also unconstitutional. But you did it anyway. They weren't in the middle of a battlefield. They weren't planning an imminent attack. And you executed them. So how about that? So you don't answer that. And the reality is, until they were embarrassed by Rand Paul and some of the others, that they had planned to give the president that level of authority. Whether he would have used it inside U.S. soil is a different issue. I don't know that he would have. But I do know that if you give the executive branch that kind of power, at some point, someone will use it. And that's not how we're supposed to run things. Oh, just trust the king, I mean the executive, to do the right thing. So, in essence, Rand Paul here with a victory because he gets them on the record saying, okay, fine, we won't use it on U.S. soil to execute U.S. citizens. Is he satisfied with that? Well, let's go to Rand Paul.
Are you satisfied?
I'm quite happy with the answer, and I'm disappointed it took a month and a half and a root canal to get it, but we did get the answer, and that's what I've been asking all along.
So, a bit of a victory for Rand Paul, and good for him.